We're going to move on to BGG, bring on Bob Capelli, along with Kareem Shindelar and Kantha Shelke.
Okay, thanks, folks. Thanks for staying overtime here. And I talk about my favorite topic. I've been selling and educating about astaxanthin for 18 years. It is really the most protective molecule in nature. And what we're going to talk about is how it grows in the algae that we extract it from. So the algae that we grow is a green algae called Haematococcus. And the algae swims around, it's active. And what we do in order to get the algae to create astaxanthin is we create stress, environmental stress. And the two things that we do, we stop feeding it. So we're trying to starve it to death. The second thing we do is we put it into intense ultraviolet exposure, into intense sunlight. And what happens is, as a survival mechanism, the algae hyperaccumulates astaxanthin over the period of about a week. And the green algae cells go from this green and swimming around to red and dormant. And I think the most incredible thing about astaxanthin is that astaxanthin is so protective to the algae cells, they can live for over 40 years with no food, with no water, in intense heat, intense cold, in extreme UV exposure, and they survive. So think about that, for 40 years with no food or water. It's really unbelievable. Now, when we ingest astaxanthin into our bodies, it's been documented to be able to get throughout the entire body. And on a cellular level, it's protecting our cells the same way that it protects these algae cells. So, really just an incredible thing. And so what's the result of that? The result is that there have been 10 different areas of clinical research, each of them with a minimum of 5 human clinical studies, and some with dozens. And if you look at these different areas of clinical research, pretty much all of them are related to aging. So that's why it's been astaxanthin is becoming known as the ultimate anti-aging nutrient, because you take one capsule and it's going to affect so many different things that affect people 40, 50 and older. So a few of the things: brain health and eye health. Both our brains and our eyes start to deteriorate as we get older. Astaxanthin helps both of these vital organs in several different ways. Skin health is probably the classic anti-aging discussion topic, and you take astaxanthin internally, helps to prevent from UV exposure, from photo aging, actually helps to improve the beauty of the skin within 2 to 4 weeks. Cardio, heart disease is the leading cause of death. Again, 11 human studies showing that astaxanthin helps support cardio health. Immune system modulation, there's a great series of studies at Washington State University showing how it can help support our immune system by actually affecting several different immune markers. Energy levels, another thing we worry about as we get old, joint and tendon pain, arthritis, things like that. And the way it's doing this, it's a very, very effective natural anti-inflammatory, and also it's the world's strongest antioxidant. So really, in one package, you're getting this incredible support.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
That's great.
Any questions?
Kantha.
I was trying to figure out, when you talk about astaxanthin, how do you separate it from the other members of the class? So how do you pitch only for that? So
in terms of the other, say carotenoids, it's in the carotenoid family. It's a molecule that can actually protect the entire cell, because it's a very long molecule. It can have one end of the astaxanthin molecule can be in the fat-soluble part of our cells, the other in the water-soluble part of our cells, so it can protect the entire cell. Now, that's very different. Also, it can get through the blood-brain and blood-retinal barriers, which lycopene and beta-carotene aren't effective at doing that. And it really has an ability to modulate at least 10 or more free radicals at once. Usually most antioxidants, they affect one free radical and they're exhausted, they're done.
Beautiful.
I wish people understood that. Thank you. Corinne.
Yeah, so I wanted to speak to for a minute, Bob, can you talk to the concerns around synthetic biology and algae? Alan mentioned it earlier on, and it's been so exciting to hear so many presenters talk about being non-GMO verified, but there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace on algae products, and I think you need to give us some information that would help us differentiate that.
This is a great question, Corinne. Thank you so much. I mean, this is something, there's a book that I wrote available in the Nourish Mint website, and there's a whole chapter about this. So synthetic astaxanthin is produced from petrochemicals, and it's an incredibly different molecule. It's shaped differently, it's non-esterified, it doesn't have any additional carotenoids supporting it that occur naturally in the algae, so it doesn't work as well. And in 6 different animal trials, it's been shown for a variety of health concerns to work much more effectively than the synthetic. Also, there's been a couple published studies showing that as an antioxidant, it's 20 to 90 times more powerful than synthetic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Bob. Great information.